This video is sponsored by Manscaped. He's the biggest name in the NHL trade market right now. Taken after Connor McDavid at the 2015 NHL entry draft, Jack Eichel has been in a spot where for 6 years he has been part of what was always seen as a rebuilding, quote-unquote, franchise in the Sabres. From getting drafted in 2015 to seeing the Sabres draft even more young talent in 2016 when they drafted Alex Nylander. In 2017, they had Casey Mittelstadt. In 18, they got Dahlin, first overall, crazy, great pick right there. In 2019, you had even more young talent coming into the organization in Dylan Cousins. And in 2020, you had Jack Quinn. Jack Eichel has been a part of a rebuilding franchise for years now, and even though he's in a spot where he is entering his mid-20s, the prime of his career, the team is down there. They've lost, I think, 12 games in a row? 13 now? Oh my goodness, I just checked. It's 14 in a row. That is crazy. They fired the coach. They did all this stuff. They tried to make a big push. Who knew that acquiring Taylor Hall, Eric Stahl, and Cody Eakin would be enough to make you go from 8th last to last? Great stuff. Well, Jack Eichel's name has been around the trade block for a while because people are speculating as to whether or not he would ask for one, whether or not the Sabres would make one, and it comes to us in the form of Renaud Lavoie a few days ago on Sportsnet 590 in Toronto, talking about what exactly the price would be, what he's hearing the Buffalo Sabres would want if they were to trade Jack Eichel. Now, again, nothing is ever confirmed. We don't know if this is solidified. Things could always change. They're always dynamic in these kinds of discussions. But according to what TVA analyst and NHL insider Renaud Lavoie has been hearing, it appears that we might have a basic framework as to what a Jack Eichel trade package would look like in order for the Buffalo Sabres to go ahead and accept it. So, I'll leave a link in the description to sportsnet.ca. It's the audio file where Renaud Lavoie goes over and he talks about it. But, pretty much, it's summed up over here on a little image posted onto Instagram. If the Buffalo Sabres trade Jack Eichel, what they want, according to Renaud Lavoie, is at least 4 pieces that are first-round picks or players that were first-round picks. Now, of course, the tweet that I'm pulling from says, oh, Tyler Ennis, Zach Kassian, Kyle Turris, and the first for Eichel. Sounds good to me. That's kind of a joke. It's sarcastic. But if you listen to the actual radio hit, Renaud Lavoie goes over and he talks about it in pretty significant detail, what exactly he means by a first-round caliber asset. What he's pretty much talking about is either a first-round pick in itself or, which is the more likely one, players that were first-rounders and that are actually playing or living out their NHL careers or developing like first-rounders. And that is the big one right here. You can't just go over to LA and say, okay, well, we've got Lias Andersson over here. He's a first-rounder, right? You guys want first-rounders for Eichel? Take Andersson and a few other guys. No, it's not like that. The Vancouver Canucks of a few years ago couldn't go out there and say, oh, we've got Eric Branson, we've got Lucas Spiza, we've got Brandon Sutter, and we've got Derek Pouliot. All top guys. Take them right now. No, it's not like that. What he means is players that are actually playing like first-rounders, players that the way that they're developing, it's akin to the first-round player projection. And you have some guys that fall out of that, for sure. Like the Lias Anderssons, like the Alex Nylanders, like the Dylan Stromes. Some of these guys, sure, they're okay, but just in terms of the caliber that they were supposed to be, it's just not there. And the Buffalo Sabres, according to Renaud Lavoie, would not want to touch any assets that could be deemed disappointing. But you know, that's a really interesting conundrum for me as well, because when you take a look at that kind of package, 4 first-round caliber things, I'm going to say things because first-round picks, I guess, those are kind of there, but the players themselves, the prospects, the developing assets taken in the first round, you're thinking about a price for Jack Eichel. Yeah, that's a price. That is a very, very steep price because when it comes to teams that have first-round caliber assets, the ones that are actually worth talking about and that actually would be of the Buffalo Sabres' interest, I think, I don't really know if they're the ones that teams would be really willing to move, you know? Like, I get it. Jack Eichel, he's a guy. He's over here. He's got the long dreads. He's got the hair. You know, the big flow coming out there. Perfect segue into our sponsor, by the way, because if you've got hair down there, take a look at Manscaped for you right here. Support for this YouTube channel is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels and is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. Now, we've collaborated on this because there's some big news in town. Manscaped has just officially launched in Canada. If you're located in the Great White North, you may be one of the first Canadians to experience these life-changing products. You ever have those times? Sometimes it's just a little too much down there, and you need to clean things up. Manscaped is the answer for you with their third-generation redesigned electric trimmer, the Lawnmower 3.0. Cutting-edge ceramic blades, a 90-minute battery, LED lights, and it's waterproof, along with a 7,000 RPM motor and a charging stand. The Manscaped team has created the greatest below-the-belt hair trimmer. So go ahead, trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LEGOROCKS99 at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping with code LEGOROCKS99. Do yourself a favor and check out Manscaped. For Jack Eichel, though, he is in a position where if he plays to the best of his ability, to the ability that we know he can reach, I have no doubt, if he's playing on a winning team, if he is able to exhibit what it is he does best, in the proper conditions, this guy could be a Hall of Famer. And that is something I don't want to see anybody in the comment section disprove. Because yeah, sure, he's young, but come on. You can kind of see guys who, if they develop the way we know they can make the Hall of Fame. McDavid, lock. Draisaitl, best German player ever, he's there. Austin Matthews, if he keeps up this goal scoring, probably there. Patrick Laine, how many Richards does he have to win to make it in there? If he's not coached by Tortorella, we'll see how things go. But you know the caliber of talent that exists there. Jack Eichel is in that franchise-defining tier. So, for the Buffalo Sabres to ask a huge, demanding price of 4 first-round worthy assets, it's huge, but I understand it. It's just when you think about it like that, 4 first-round caliber assets that are actually living up to the hype, that in itself is something that to me is unobtainable for the majority of NHL teams. And if you are able to attain it, I have no idea if these teams would actually want to do that. Because let's think about it. These are my teams here. I spoke about Vancouver earlier and the Derek Pouliots and the Goodbransons, top picks and prospects back when they were younger. But that's not what I'm talking about here. If you're talking about Vancouver, if you align it with what Renaud Lavoie is saying the Sabres want, you're talking Pettersson, Besser, Horvat, Hughes. And if you're not doing one of those guys, you're doing a JT Miller, or you're doing a Podkolzin, who is a first-round caliber asset, I guess. But you know what? That's huge. That is really big, and it could cripple an organization if they try to go out there and they move this volume of assets. Sure, the Vancouver Canucks, with our hypothetical example here, would be pretty good with Jack Eichel. I'd like that. But not at the expense of literally every other good player on this team. You have the Montreal Canadiens, my second favorite team. 4 first-round caliber assets. You know who's first-round caliber on this team? I'd say Nick Suzuki. I would say Cole Caulfield. I would say, I don't know, Romanov. But he wasn't a first-rounder, so who even knows if he's there? Kotkaniemi then, I guess? And then somebody else? Jonathan Drouin, maybe? I'm not even too sure if he counts. So it is crazy high what the asking price here is for Jack Eichel. But as I said, it is understandable to see why it is that high. For Edmonton, because the tweet that I'm pulling from here just jokingly says Tyler Ennis, Cassian Turris, and a first. Who knows? You're going out there and you're saying Leon Draisaitl, you're saying a Tyson Barrie, you're saying, dare I say, Connor McDavid. But you know what? Edmonton, obviously, just the way Edmonton is, there's no way they're going to go after Eichel. It's just a hypothetical situation, so please calm down. Take your fingers away from the keyboard and stop writing in caps lock. But the way things are going, I honestly think I'm starting to buy into the hype that everybody has been kind of subliminally pushing out there onto social media, that if there are any teams that would go out there and actually have what it takes and be willing to sacrifice what it takes to get a Jack Eichel, I'm thinking the New York Rangers. Just kind of popping into my head there. So many first-round caliber talents on that team and in that organization's depth chart that if the Buffalo Sabres were out there and they were like, okay, here's Capo Caco, here's Philip Cheadle, here's Keandre Miller and somebody else not named Alexis Lafreniere, so you can have Lafreniere and Eichel playing together with Panarin and Zibanejad. Ooh, my goodness. The Rangers have a case here, honestly, just kind of my own personal opinions over there, but all in all, it's just kind of crazy to think about the package here because I don't know if there are any other teams. Like, really, let me know in the comments if there are any teams out there that could realistically go out there and make a trade like this. A team that has the expendable assets to go out there and trade 4 first-round caliber players or picks for Jack Eichel and still come out on top. Again, it's hard to lose a trade if you're trading for Jack Eichel, but if in that trade you're giving up Pedersen, Hughes, Podkolzin, and Horvat because you're keeping the first line of Miller, Besser, Eichel, like, I don't know if you win that trade. You're not... Oh, man. Just thinking about Buffalo, dude. If they actually get offers with this kind of package, they're going to be set, dude. Give the captaincy to Sam Reinhart, and once that guy leaves in free agency, give it to Rasmus Dahlin after. Crazy stuff over there in Buffalo. So talk to me in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trolls 99. And bye.